Hello everyone, my name is Sterling and I am the artist and founder behind Cactus Lady Creation, where I share all things conscious crafting, including nature crafts, DIYs, and thrift flips. In this video, I will be sharing a half lunar macrame design, how to dip dye it in onion skins, and how to add some flair and fringe to it. If you like this video and this content, please give it a like below and also subscribe and hit the bell notification in order to be notified of future tutorials, as I'll be putting out at least 2 of these a week. Feel free to grab a drink. I know I'm drinking some green tea, and let's get started with our craft. To begin this project, the materials that I used were 9mm cotton string, measuring tape, a cedarwood branch that I found on a nature walk, and some scissors. First, I cut 9 cords about 115 inches or 292 centimeters long each for this project. Then we will use 2 S-hooks to hold the dowel in place while working. Here I am using a clothing rack to hold the piece in place, but feel free to use the back of a door or chair as well. To start, mount one of the cords to the dowel a little bit left of the center using a lark's head knot. To do this, fold the cord in half and find the middle, then put the middle section over the top and behind the dowel. Next, pull the 2 ends of the cord through that middle loop section and continue pulling on the ends to secure the knot to the dowel. As you can see, we want this cord to be a little bit to the left, and next we will mount another cord to the dowel to the right of this one using the same lark's head knot. Make sure these cords are in the center of your dowel. For the next part, we will not be using the leftmost cord, so for now, go ahead and place that cord to the side. Now, to create the half lunar line shapes in our design, we will use the double half hitch knot. To create this knot, we will tie the working cords around the standing cord 2 times each. A great way to remember which is which is that the working cords are the ones that will be used to tie, and the standing cords in this knot determine the direction of the lines in our design. The first time, we will wrap that working cord around the standing cord and bring that first part all the way up to the top. Then tie it around again and bring it up to meet the first. The first double half hitch knot is complete. Now move to the second working cord. And we will tie this working cord around the standing cord in the same way. Now we will mount the end of the standing cord to the dowel. To do this, bring the end over the top of the dowel from front to back. Next, wrap the end totally around the dowel and to the left of the section that we just wrapped. Then bring that end over the top of this section and wrap the cord again around the dowel from back to front and pull it through the loop. This will create a lark's head knot mounting this cord to the dowel. Now the first row is complete, and we will create 3 more rows in a similar fashion for this project. Next, mount another cord to the right of our design on the dowel using a lark's head knot. This time, leave out the rightmost cord and tie 4 double half hitch knots across the row from right to left. When you get to the end, mount the cord to the dowel with the lark's head knot. So take that cord and wrap it around the dowel from front to back and to the right of the standing cord this time. Then place the cord on top of the section we just wrapped and place that cord around the dowel again from back to front, and lastly pull it through the loop and pull on the end to secure it to the dowel. Next, mount another cord to the left of the design using a lark's head knot. Leave out the leftmost cord before tying our knots across the row, and this row will be a little different from the previous ones. We will mount another cord to the standing cord using a reverse lark's head knot. To do this, fold the cord in half, then place the cord over the standing cord from back to front, which will make a loop in front of the cord. Place the ends through that loop and pull on the ends to secure the cord to the standing cord. Adding extra cords in this way allows them to match the double half hitch knots in the row for one seamless half lunar line shape in our design. Next, continue with the row by knotting 2 double half hitch knots and then adding another cord using a reverse lark's head knot. Continue with this pattern across the row and you will add a total of 4 extra cords to this row. As you can see, there is a bit of extra space between the last double half hitch knot that was tied and this next cord, so adding another cord to the piece allows for one continuous smooth line. Once you get to the end of the row, continue with mounting the end to the dowel. Next, mount another cord to the dowel to the right of our design using a lark's head knot, and we will work this last row from right to left. Go ahead and place that rightmost cord to the side and continue with the standing cord. We will tie 16 double half hitch knots across the row from right to left. We will not need to add any cords to this row. Once you get to the end, go ahead and mount it to the dowel using the Lark's head knot, wrapping it around the dowel from front to back, and then pulling that in to the right of the section, wrapping it on top and then around the dowel again from back to front. Then pulling it through the loop and pulling on that end to secure it to the dowel. We have now completed the semi-lunar design portion, and now we will trim it, and then I will show you how to dip dye it in onion skins. To trim, I like to lay this piece flat and then eyeball the shortest cord and cut them all the same length. Feel free to play with cutting your ends asymmetrically as well. To dye your project, you will need a stainless steel pot that you only use for dyeing and a bunch of onion skins. I used a mix of yellow and red onion skins for my dye, but you can separate them if you want a more yellow or reddish dye as well. I used skins from about 12 different onions and placed them all in a pot. Next, I put regular tap water in my pot and made sure there was enough to cover all of the onion skins so that they could loosely float in the water, but not too much because I wanted a nice concentrated color for this dye. Then I placed the pot on medium heat for about an hour and stirred it every 15 minutes with a spoon that I only use for dyeing. I also made sure to not let the dye get too overheated or boiled because I wanted to keep the color nice and vibrant. Every element will really affect your dye, including the heat, the pH of the water, and the color of the onion skins, and this is why I love natural dyes, because it always is an experiment to dye with and turns out very unique every time. After an hour, I took the pot off the stove and let it cool and continued to let the onion skins sit in the water overnight to ensure that the dye was nice and strong, but you can also just make sure that your onions stay in the bath for at least another 3 hours. With natural dyeing, it is a slow craft, so it's important to not rush the process to get great results. Then I poured the liquid out of the pot into some jars and used some cheesecloth to filter out all of the onion bits. Now we have our dye bath, and next we will place the pot back on the stove on medium heat and let it heat up for 30 minutes. Once the bath is hot and steaming, make sure that the ends of your piece are completely saturated with water to ensure that it will be dyed nice and evenly, and then we will dip the piece into the dye bath. I also take the dye bath off the heat at this point and let the piece sit in the bath for about 3 to 4 hours. After about 4 hours, I took the piece out of the dye bath, washed out the ends with water, and let it hang dry out of direct sunlight, and this is how the piece turned out. Then I wanted to add some accents and texture to make this piece have a nice flare. So first I added this lovely triangle bead, and to do so, I used some jute string and added it to the top of the bead using a reverse Lark's head knot. Then I tied the ends to a tapestry needle and placed the needle through the middle of the Lark's head knot in the piece. Then to secure the bead to the piece, I tucked the jute string under 2 of the knots in a circle. I took the string under the first knot and then brought it around to the knot next to it. Then I took the string back under that first same knot . Then to secure it, I took it under the knot right next to the first one. Next, I trimmed the string, and now the bead is nice and secured to the piece. Next, I wanted to add some fringe, so I grabbed some yarns that I liked and a crochet hook, but you can also use a tapestry needle for this. And all I did was simply guide the cord in between the double half hitch knots where I wanted the fringe to be. So here I'm using the crochet hook to simply guide the yarn through the middle of the first double half hitch knot on that last row, and then once I pull the yarns through that double half hitch knot, I'm securing the yarns to the piece with a simple overhand knot to add them to the piece. I ended up liking the way that it looked when I added the yarn to every other double half hitch knot, because it added just enough fringe and interest while allowing the dye effect to still be seen. But it would be nice to experiment with adding more or less yarn to your piece to fit the aesthetic that you like. Then I gave the piece one last trim, and this is how it turned out. I thoroughly enjoyed creating this piece. Did you like it? What was your favorite part? Let me know in the comments below. Also, for more DIYs and also to check out my art, head to the website at cactusladycreation.com. Please remember to like this video and subscribe and hit the bell notification to be notified of future tutorials. Thank you for watching. See you next time.